I hope that you're having a whoa. I hope that you're having a wonderful day, night, evening, morning, afternoon, literally whatever time you're watching this. Please excuse my disgruntled hair. There was like a thunderstorm slash tornado warning that I was in the middle of for hours. So that's very wonderful, cute, and beautiful. Shout out to Shango and oh yeah. But still I was very safe. So it's neither here nor there. I hope that y'all are having a great day. I missed y'all. It's been a long time since we did a tarot reading or an oracle reading, but we just recently did one on Patreon and that boy was smacking. So I was like, let me go ahead and do one for the general collective because I miss y'all. And I know y'all miss the tarot readings. Like what? They always hit. What's going on? I'm having all types of malfunctions tonight. It's okay. Everything's fine. Everything is awesome. All right. Let's go ahead and see what in the world. First of all, let's just do a little checkup, a little update. What are we doing well so far? All of us are on our new timelines. You guys are in your new environments, still getting used to the environments. Absolutely, of course. Ooh, I love it already. I'm gonna take this first card. Let's just get one more. Let's get, yeah, just more clarity on what we're doing well. Let's start there. Let's start with the things that we're doing well. I think that's a good there we go. All right, so the first card is 25. We have happy. Don't know if I pronounced that right, but this is the card of renewal. Okay, numerology of this card is a 7. Somebody might have a child that's 7 years old, but I'm really giving this is like a 7-year cycle that's ending. You guys are ending a 7-year cycle or a 7-year time loop. There might have been some things or some archetypes of people that you were experiencing within those 7 years. Now you've reached a point of mastery, right? You know how to transmute these energies. Look at that. Literally, okay, so the second card that popped out is card number 2, Amon Ra, right? The card of creation. So, literally what we were talking about, transmutation is a form of creation. I'm not sure if we often correlate those two words together, or when I'm not sure if when we think about transmutation we think about creation. Usually transmutation comes in the terms of talking about like release, something that you want to change, but in order to change something you have to have something to substitute it, right? So therefore creation is always in the process. Something else that is coming to mind is just the constant process of death and birth, or death and rebirth. The two are usually, if not always, happening simultaneously in the same region or in the same areas, right? So while we are noticing that some things are dying off, or while we're noticing that some things are being destroyed, right? So you can think of that as like a tower moment. Other things are in the works, in development, or you can even think like in the womb. Things are about to be birthed, right? About to be created, about to be transformed, if not already in the process, just out of the emotions that the tower moments bring, right? And then we have, last but not least, card number 7. Ooh, what a coinky dink. The numerology of the first card being 7, and then this card is actually number 7. So we have Isis. It says faith and wisdom, the card of faith and wisdom, right? So it's really giving, Spirit is saying that you guys are doing a great job taking literally whatever is coming to you, right, within the ebbs and the flows of life and the new environment. You guys are literally taking it. You are remembering the skills and the techniques that Spirit has imparted unto you, right? Like the wisdom that Spirit has given you to know how to transform these situations and then create the ideal situation that you have in your head. Boop, there we go. Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck, because I just, yeah. Okay, boom. Then we have number 19, Moot, being ordinary. I love this card because whenever I pull this card, it's usually when I'm not in a period of like super spiritual guru monk. I feel like you guys know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you're just so heavy in the spiritual, you almost neglect, if not completely like negate the things that are going on in the physical, right? So you could be so connected to the spirit, you're not actually doing the physical things that you need to do. So for example, you could be doing a lot of spiritual baths, a lot of smoke cleanses, there we go, a lot of praying, right, a lot of reading. And it's not to say that these things aren't good, but if those things take up so much time in your day that you forget to eat, do we see how that could be a contradiction, right? But this card was actually upright. Faith and wisdom and creation were reversed, which is telling me that you guys might not necessarily see the creation in the process, but renewal was absolutely upright. So whether you see it or not, there is a process of renewal that is happening at this very moment. Also, it's we have Kanum. I'm butchering these names. This is card 21, numerology 3, the card of resourcefulness. So you, like I said, you guys are taking all of the wisdom that spirit has imparted to you or upon you in the past and using it to better your situation, right? I love this for you guys. You guys are smart. You guys are smart, and it's really just giving I'm hearing like equipped. It's almost like when you were in very similar situations before, you might not have felt like you were equipped to deal with the things that were coming your way. But because of that past experience, or because of those past experiences, you guys are moving a lot more confident. You might not feel as confident as you would like to feel, but just know it took you a minute to even get here. So first, let's acknowledge the progress from where you started, right? And we talked about this too. I'm not sure if it was on the Patreon or if I'm pretty sure it was on the Patreon. We talked about the gap in the game, right? So the gap is, do I have a board? Hold on real quick, y'all. I'm about to grab a board. And we're back. I thought I was going to grab a board, but I don't feel like doing all of that cleaning. So I got a paper. Okay, so boom. This is the start, right? This is where you started, right? So on Patreon, we were talking about how a lot of us are, and currently where we are, we started from the absolute bottom. Like, right? We started from scratch. You had to build a certain level of knowledge to even kind of get going. So just for an example, let's say, oh, boom, here's a perfect example. We all been to high school, right? So you know when you start out in high school, you're a freshman. The idea, obviously, or the goal, obviously, is to graduate high school. Obviously, you have to go through 4 different grades in order to, at least here in the U.S. I'm not sure how the school systems work in other territories, but here in the U.S., you have to go through 4 different grades in order to graduate high school, right? So when you come in as a freshman, you literally are at the very beginning, right? You have to learn the culture of the high school. High school is, it don't matter what high school you go to, the culture is always completely different from whatever middle school you went to. Even if it's like the same school, but they just got an elementary, middle, and high, the culture is always completely different. It's always completely different, right? Even if you're not talking about the culture, the studies are completely different, right? The expectations are completely different. The personalities of the teachers are going to be drastically different from middle school to high school. They actually tell you that the whole time you are in school. When you get to the 9th grade, you're not going to be able to do that because your teacher's not going to, right? We all know, we're all familiar with that, right? So when you come in as a freshman, you're fresh meat, right? You at the start, right? Boom. So then you start taking your little gen ed classes and you do your electives, bada bop bop boop. You pass the 9th grade, right? Now you here. You still have to go through the 10th grade, the 11th grade, and the 12th grade to get to your goal or the idea of actually graduating high school. So the idea of the gap in the game is to be able to accurately measure your progress by only measuring where you started to where you currently are right now, not incorporating your overall goal. So for example, let's say boom, I started, okay, let me just use my old job. So I used to work at a dispensary, right? It took me about a good 2 months to really get a decent amount of the prices down. The only thing that I was kind of struggling with was when people came in and they wanted very specific things that we ain't had in goddamn 3-4 months. People from 8 months ago like, oh yeah, I remember when we had that strain. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about, buddy. Go ask somebody else, Bob. Like, it's giving that. But when I first started, I had to start from scratch. Just being realistic, that was my first sales job. I had worked in a grocery store. That's not sales though. You know, like my income was not based off of bonuses and tips and how much I sell on my register. Like none of that was ever a thing for me until I worked in a dispensary. That was me starting from scratch. There were people in the dispensary that had been clearly working in sales, if not even just in the dispensary, that had been working as salespeople for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on years, right? What I would start to notice is if I was to compare my sales to their sales, first of all, there is no comparison because they have a lot of things that I don't have yet. Product knowledge is number one. Pricing knowledge is number two. Like a whole bunch of stuff. There's a lot of things that there was a lot of knowledge turned wisdom that I just hadn't even had the experience to even have. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to be where you are in order to get where you want to be. One of my coworkers actually gave that motivational quote yesterday, and I thought it was so fire. So I'm sharing it with you guys because y'all are even more fire. But yeah, so so it's really in order to be able to give yourself the proper credit without over critiquing yourself because you're looking at unrealistic standards, right? If you were a freshman and you expected yourself to have all of the skills, all of the knowledge that you needed in order to pass, even if it's not, because I know to pass high school is not like a final test. But let's say you got all the way to senior year and you was on some bullshit, or I don't know, something might have happened, and so you need to take this module, right? We had these modules back when I was in high school called capstones, to where if you didn't get all of the credits that you needed to get in high school, then you could do these modules, do this capstone, and you could still graduate, right? I forgot why I was talking about that. Oh, because even a freshman, after passing their freshman year, if they were to go and take that capstone, they would be confused as fuck, because why is it calculus on here? Like, I didn't even get a chance. Exactly, you didn't get a chance to learn that. You didn't get there yet. So it's really about finding the good in your situation, taking as many lessons as you can from that experience, and only judging yourself based off of realistic expectations, right? Where did you start? Where are you now? How did you get there? What were the steps that you took in order to get there? And then giving yourself the proper praise, celebration, and validation that you need to propel you to that next level, right? Because there's always a next level. There's always a next level. Without comparing yourself unfairly to people that have been they have more experience than you, so it's not even fair. I hope that made sense. I know it made sense. I got a lot of energy today, y'all. I love it. Okay, boom. So let's ask our African goddess guides. Whoa, y'all are quick. What is something that we can consciously work better on? So the first thing that popped out, the first thing that caught my eye, because the other one was turned around. We have Sawache, card number 3. I feel like we pulled a 3 card in the Egyptian god deck as well. This card is about grounding. So, and then the very next card is 40, right? Numerology 4. I love how they're in order too, 3 and 4. Again, that's a 7, 7, 7, 7. Somebody, is your birthday on the 7th? Or like, was your birthday last month? Happy birthday. I love that for you. If not, if you've been seeing 7s, just know that this is absolutely your message, because 7s are popping out like crazy. During this awakening, right? Sorry, this is Yemaya, the card of awakening. Yemaya is the water spirit that rules over the surface of bodies of water. Specifically, I know she's a river goddess for sure. I do believe that she governs over all bodies of water, though. The surfaces of the waters and underneath the surfaces of the waters, like the deeps of the oceans, is Olokun, if I'm not mistaken. But boom. So what this is telling me is that the process that you guys are going through right now is an awakening, right? Even if it's just an awakening of a very specific skill set that you are now developing, right? It's almost like spirit is awakening these talents in you, this energy that was dormant for a decent part of your life. I'm hearing like the majority of your life, this energy was dormant, and spirit is waking it up because it's creating opportunities for you. I'm laughing because when I flipped over the deck, pleasure was upside down. And okay. And then we have Maya. This is card number 10. The card of giving and receiving. So you guys might feel like at this moment you're giving more than what's coming back to you. You might feel like your efforts, your time, your energy is not being compensated fairly. Okay, let's just ask Spirit about this, because I don't want to say anything, to be honest. Spirit, what do you have to say about that? I feel like sometimes when I say that was immediate. I feel like sometimes when I say just trust and know that the situation is working for your good, it's kind of like blowing over. It's kind of blowing over the depth of the emotion. So Spirit. Okay, so another 7. We got card number 34, Apophis, darkness. Okay, so immediately I'm thinking about creation, right? Honestly and truly, when you think about the energy of creation, you usually don't think about darkness, but in the darkness is where the most things are created. Why? Because in the darkness is when you have. Okay, let's just talk about like physically on a 3D plane. In the darkness, most people would feel things like fear, anxiety, insecurity. I said anxiety, but I also want to say anxiousness, because I feel like anxiety and being anxious can sometimes come as I'll take that as confirmation. I feel like being anxious and feeling anxiety can sometimes be a little different. Like anxiety can sometimes be nervousness or feeling on edge. You can also feel anxious if you feel overwhelmed. I'm gonna leave that there. Anxiety is like an umbrella term for a lot of emotions that I feel like can come with that. But yeah, in the darkness, I also want to point out the fact that in the darkness, when you are going through all of these really vulnerable and more than likely really heavy emotions, that's when you're the most open to spirit, right? Because the word desperation is coming through. A lot of times those feelings can make us feel desperate, right? You can feel kind of helpless. You can feel like you are in the middle of a lot of uncontrollable situations and you're controlling as much as you can, but what in the entire hell fuck is going on here? Spirit is most definitely acknowledging your feelings here. So we have a moot, card number 30. We have devastation. So Spirit understands the way that these moments can make you feel. However, transformative, right? We have card number 11, Anubis, with transformation. Transformation is absolutely taking place here. It's taking place in the darkness. Also, can I just say, sometimes when we are in the light, right, or in the light when we're happy, when we're joyful, when everything's going right, when we're just like super satisfied with everything that's going on, there's no incentive to change things, right? There's no incentive to shift. There's no incentive to really do anything different because you're satisfied, you're comfortable, right? So when spirit notices that, I just heard you're settling for less, and that's not even to say like you're doing it on purpose, but of course our benevolent spirit team has a much broader, wider view of our lives, right? All of the different timelines, to be able to tell us like, okay, like this is cool, but don't sit in this too long because we got something else for you, we got something better for you, right? And a lot of times when we're in the light and we start getting these side quests, we usually don't take them. We don't want to turn right, we don't want to turn left, because I like this path that I'm on right here, I'm comfortable, and I'm gonna keep going straight. So sometimes spirit does throw in a veer every now and then just to get you out of your comfort zone so that you can know that there's something better for you coming. Okay, so when you have those little diverts in whatever you're doing, when you have those moments where you know, you have these little side quests popping up, just know that it's because spirit has something else planned for you. Maybe where you were going, or maybe what you were focusing on just shouldn't be the main focus right now, or maybe you've given enough focus to that thing for this time being, and now the focus needs to be shifted elsewhere. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. And then here we go with Ra with enlightenings, right? So spirit is trying to enlighten I just heard like your mindset is going to, like, whatever situation you're facing right now is going to empower you. We also spoke a little bit a couple weeks ago about moving from student to leadership, right? So when you have a lot of people that are now going to be following your lead, please know that these people are going to be struggling with a lot, if not all of the things that you're facing right now. So a lot of the things that you're going through is not necessarily just to challenge you just because the unit, and it's not like a test, it's not like that. It's more so that you can know how to handle this situation. Have you guys ever dealt with a child and the child was asking you something, or like, yeah, was a child ever asking you something and you were like, bro, I don't even know how to answer this to where you will understand what I'm saying, because it was like more of a complex question. It's almost trying to explain to a child the difference between good and bad when you're talking about like Maleficent, or like when you're talking about like an anti-hero. I was gonna say like Deadpool. You probably would never be talking to your kids about Deadpool. Hopefully if they're that young, but it's almost like spirit is imparting wisdom unto you, right? And we know that you cannot have change without struggle. That's one of the revolutionary principles, right? Without struggle, you can't ever have change, because people are comfortable. What the fuck we need to change for? I'm good, nigga, I'm good. You feel me? But yeah, so then we have Hermitage. I'm gonna take the rest of these cards. We have Hermitage. This is card number 20. Immediately after that, we have card number 32 with Righteousness. We have card number 34 with Understanding, and card number 33 with Healing. So I'm just gonna kind of throw this all together because what I'm getting here is that spirit is putting you, I just heard set aside. Spirit is setting you aside temporarily so that you can better connect your mind, heart, and soul, so that your mind, heart, and soul can all be in alignment, right? So when we are going through processes of being new, being students, being novices, right, we're learning from other people. Of course, when you're learning from other people, you're going to take on a lot of their verbiage, a lot of their gestures, right? A lot of their tonage. You're going to pick up things from them because you're learning from them. That's just natural. However, there might be some things where spirit is saying, okay, you've learned enough here, or you've learned enough from this person, or for this time being, now it's time to set you apart, because now you have to learn your own flow, right? Now it's time for you to bring what you learned into balance with you. It's almost giving like the things that you're learning, like obviously they're going to benefit you, because spirit wouldn't put you in this place, in this opportunity to be doing stuff that's not going to benefit you. However, there might be slight cognitive dissonance, or there might be some kind of disconnect between the things that you're doing, the things that you're saying, the things that you're participating in, and your values, your beliefs, your usual traditions, right? So maybe you might work a lot. You're working way more than usual. So maybe you just aren't able to do as, maybe you stopped your morning routine that you had started, and you were doing really good keeping up with it. That's not to say that, oh, spirit didn't like my morning routine, so they threw me a curveball. No, it's to show you something else that you needed to develop in. Maybe there were some things in that morning routine that needed to be tweaked a little bit, or maybe not. Maybe spirit just wanted to divert your attention real quick, so that you could develop in this area. And then when you come back to that morning routine, now you really see how important it is. Now you really see the difference between the days when you do the morning routine and the days when you don't, right? So we talked about the great awakening, right? There's usually like one or two, maybe three great awakenings. The first one is awakening to the fact that, you know, it's probably like leaving some type of religion, or leaving a family group, maybe leaving a toxic relationship, right? Leaving a group or a culture that has indoctrinated you into thinking a certain thing, right? That's usually the first awakening, is breaking the indoctrination from a culture that you were privy to in the past, right? Then the second great awakening is, okay, now I'm awakening to who I am, right? Because when you break out of the culture, when you break out of the dynamic that you were the most familiar with, then of course you start to go on this journey of, well, what the fuck, who the fuck am I? What do I want to do? What do I want to participate in? What feels good to me? Where do I belong, right? That's usually the second great awakening, or the second awakening is the awakening to the self, right? The first one is like the awakening to the environment. The second one is the awakening to the self, right? So after that, you usually start to say, okay, I like this over here, I like this over here, I'm going to start practicing this, that, right? And then you might have a third one. To be honest, did I have a third one? I did have a third one. But my third one, just to be completely honest, it was surrounding family, and it needed to happen in order for me to clarify my second awakening, right? To clarify who I am, I had to learn certain things about my family in order to propel me just to where I needed to be, which now I feel like I'm in the great maintenance, right? Which is you have a good idea of who you are. I mean, it always changes. We kind of always change who we are. We kind of always change like our beliefs, our nuances, and all of that stuff. But for the most part, I know where I absolutely don't belong. I can tell when energy is mine and when it's not mine. So now the thing is just maintaining, right? Maintaining the practices, maintaining the beliefs, tweaking where it needs to be tweaked. Why did I start talking about this? I don't remember. Okay, so boom. Here goes Oshun with fearless love. Self-love, y'all. This is a journey where I feel like spirit is really asking. It's about balance, right? It's about balance, and it's about not giving up on yourself, right? There's never going to be a time where you are in a situation or an environment where there's absolutely nothing going on. There's always going to be something going on. There's always going to be something to take care of. There's always going to be some type of problem or some area of development which can use a little bit more developing. However, it's very important to just remember that no matter where you are in your process, no matter where you are in life, just continue to really be loving and nurturing to yourself, because you can only do the best that you can at the time being, right? I really feel like Spirit is proud of you though. Like, I don't want you guys to take this and be like, no, this is actually very celebratory, because to be honest, it takes a lot to get here. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot to even step out of your comfort zone in the first place and be put into a brand new situation, you know, where the things is not exactly what you expected. I feel like you guys just expected things to be like hunky-dory way faster. Y'all expected a faster transition because you guys are used to being leaders. You're used to being dope. You know what I'm saying? You're used to being good at things super quick. You're used to picking up things super quick and being flexible and being able to go with the flow, and usually go with the flow a lot better than everybody else. But Spirit is saying, because this opportunity is so great and grand. Because the opportunity is so great and grand. Wow, my cat is on fire tonight. You guys are not allowed to bypass certain things, right? Because Spirit does not want your tower to crumble. The tower that Spirit is building for you is, I was gonna say long lasting. Spirit said everlasting. Spirit is building you a everlasting tower. Ain't no pieces over here. What you talking about? Ain't no leaning. We just had a tornado warning, like, and it knocked down a whole bunch of trees. This is gonna be one of those things where it's like, it don't matter what's going on, it's not gonna get knocked down, it's not gonna get tore down, it's not gonna get destroyed. So be grateful for the challenges. Of course, feel your feelings. I'm not telling you not to feel your feelings. Actually, feeling your feelings is a huge part of the process, right? Really feeling grief, right? Really feeling sadness, even sometimes sadness turning into depression. Really feeling anger and really feeling rage. If you're feeling anxiety, really going through that, pinpointing where in your body do you feel it? What does the physical sensation feel like, right? For me, I know certain emotions feel differently. Sometimes if I feel it in my stomach, I'm like, okay, I know it's this. If I feel it in my shoulders, I'm like, okay, this is interesting, I'm feeling this. Or, you know, I'm probably feeling this. Or if I feel it on the right side of my head, notice where the sensations are coming. These are also things that you can pinpoint that can later give you more insight to what the fuck is going on, right? This is wisdom being built in the process. Many times when wisdom is being built, it does not feel good. If you think about all of the times in the past where you, now looking back in hindsight, I'm sure you're like, I'm so grateful for that moment. Because of this, I was able to do this. Because of this, I was able to talk to this person. Because of this, I was able to go over here and train this person, and now this person is doing that and helping me with this, right? Notice the pattern. You know what I'm saying? I'll give y'all a quick example. So I was at work, and for the first time ever, I got bit by a dog, child. I ain't never got bit by no animal. Usually animals always love me, and I actually wasn't even in this dog's way. The dog went out of its way to come and literally freaking attack me. Attack me for no reason at all. I was minding my own business. Because I got bit by that dog, and because the dog actually bit the fuck out of me, like that dog was not playing with me, for the first time in years, I was able to clip my cat's nails. I had one cat before I had her. I never played like that. Even when I had a dog in my childhood, I never played like that. I never cut my animal's nails. Like my old cat, I never used to give her real baths. We used to do the little wipes and stuff because I'm like, yeah, you're not finna bite me. Yeah, now I really don't give a fuck because you really not gonna bite me. I've already been bit. I already experienced that. So it was less fear there, you know what I'm saying? It was less hesitation, less anxiety. When she did her little nips trying to run away, it didn't make me nervous or scared because I know what the pressure feels like when an animal is really on your ass, not playing with you. So I could tell when she was just nervous and anxious, but she really didn't want to hurt me, which, y'all know what I'm saying? In the moment, I ain't gonna lie. When I got bit by the dog, it caused me to have to leave work early. I cried almost that entire day. I cried walking back to my car. I cried that night. I cried at the hospital talking to the people. It was a whole big ordeal. Like, I was really like, y'all, this is a lot. Like, at that point I knew like everything was happening for me and not to me, but I was struggling to find the why. And this is something else that's coming up, and I'm probably gonna leave you guys with this. We're gonna pull one more card, but you can never understand the why in the moment. It's always in hindsight. That's why it's so important to really feel those emotions, but also give yourself a lot of grace, because just knowing the way that the universe works, right, the way that spirit works, the way that this 3D world works, our brains aren't able to process the future, or a future, your brain isn't able to give you like an answer from the future, because you haven't lived the experience to have that answer. I hope that made sense. I know it made sense. I tried the best that I could. Always in hindsight, it'll make sense. If it doesn't make sense, you can always pull a lesson out of it. Sometimes the why isn't just completely clear, but more times than not, you can always pull a lesson out of it. If you can't pull a lesson out of it, then you can pull at least 3 things that you did really well this time, where if similar situations have happened in the past, which I'm sure, because that's just how the universe works, we're faced with very similar situations, if not straight up the same, with different archetypes or different people, different faces with different names, but it be very, very similar. You'll be able to see, like, dang, I'm glad that this time I was able to do 1, 2, and 3, when back in the past I would have did A, B, and C. And because I did A, B, and C in the past, and it got me to D, and I didn't like D, today I did 1, 2, 3, and it got me to 4. Y'all know what I'm saying? I know y'all know what I'm saying. All right, boom. Let's do... Actually, let's do one card just to end us off. Woo! Let's get some advice. Let's get some advice. Yes, ma'am. Let's do 2 cards. I lied. I want to do 2. Because y'all are special. Alright, I'm going to do this one first. Cool. So, the first card that popped out, we have creative disarray, right? So literally what we were talking about, being in creative disarray, things feel very much kind of wonky. It's like, I don't really understand what is going on, but I know that I'm going to be straight, right? It's kind of like everything around you is happening in Morse code, right? It's like not even quite able to understand this at all, but you guys are going with the flow, right? You guys are being creative. You're transmuting the things that don't feel good to you. You're like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this. Let's take this and let's do this, right? Literally an example of transmutation today, being out in a thunderstorm. I was grateful that the sun wasn't beaming on me anymore. I was grateful that somebody had gave me a very cold bottle of water. And I'm grateful that we got to chill out for a minute, just sitting in the car waiting for the storm to pass, right? That's transmutation, because I could have been like, damn, what the fuck, right? And I could have ruined my whole day. I actually could have went home and said, F this, you feel me? But instead of that, what we did was we found the good in the situation. And what that does is it develops your wisdom, it develops your character, and it develops your emotional intelligence for future matters, for future environments, and just for future times, period. And then we have ethereal bridge, right? I think this is so beautiful. Spirit is letting you know that what you're doing right now is not even really a tower moment. What they did is they just laid across this invisible bridge. That's literally what I'm seeing in my head. I'm seeing, like, it's so interesting. I'm seeing like you feel like you're about to step off the edge of the earth, but what you don't see is Spirit has laid out this invisible bridge for you to walk on. All you have to do is trust and just take the steps. And as you take each step, You might feel nervous, of course, because you stepping and you don't see you don't see nothing under you, so you kind of are nervous to take the next step. But after you take 2, 3 steps, right? Take 4, then you start feeling kind of comfortable. Like, okay, I don't see no flow, but I know I'm stepping on something, so let me just step on. You feel me? Step on, like Sister Grandma said. And yes, Spirit has everything laid out for you. Eventually, you are going to see the promised land, right? You are going to see the destination. The bridge is still going to be invisible, though. That's what Spirit is. That's what I'm seeing in my mind's eye. The bridge is still going to be invisible. Even when you get this close to being to that idea, right? That goal, right? Passing high school, right? Getting that first $10,000 check at your new job, right? Selling your first car because you just got a job to be a car salesman, right? Actually finishing the first book with your new book club. Whatever is going on, right? Spirit is saying just because the path is unclear, just because you can't necessarily see the path with these eyes. You know how many things we can't see with these eyes? We're only able to see a certain spectrum of light. The majority of the things that are literally here in this room with me right now, I absolutely cannot see and will never be able to see with my physical eyes, because that's just not how the spectrum works. You know what I'm saying? However, I continue to live, I continue to breathe, I continue to move, I take care of my plants, I take care of myself, I take care of my cat, right? I'm gonna end up putting the picture back on the wall eventually when I get some good tape. You feel me? It's almost like Spirit is saying, don't stop just because it's hard to trust. Don't stop just because Spirit is asking you to do things that don't necessarily make sense, because it's not absolutely visibly clear to you at this moment. Not to say blind faith. Blind faith is like, I really don't know what the fuck going on, but I'm just gonna cross my fingers and my toes and jump into I don't even know how many feet, but I'm just gonna, you know, like, it's not that. You know that you're going somewhere. You know that this opportunity is good for you. You know that this opportunity was God-given, Spirit-given. Your benevolent ancestors are behind you. You know that you're not on a dummy mission. You know what I'm saying? Blind faith, you might be on a dummy mission. Like, yeah, it just might be a dummy mission. This is backed by intuition, though. I think there's a difference between, like, blind faith or going off a hunch or going off a feeling and moving off of your intuition. Your intuition is absolutely never wrong. Never, ever. This Ori, never wrong. That's the first Orisha that you have full communicative. This is the first Ori that you have full access to, basically, is what I'm trying to say. You can communicate with your Ori at any time, right? Obviously, there's a certain amount of, like, experience that you need in order to practice with certain Orishas, because there's just a certain amount of knowledge that you need in order to do it correctly and respectfully. However, your Ori is always open to you. Your intuition is always open to you, and that's not something to be taken for granted. I really feel like Spirit is absolutely proud of you guys, because first of all, it's difficult to even step out on something like this and to continue without being able to necessarily see all of the steps to the goal, right? And when you want it quick, when you feel like I've been working for so long, what the fuck is going on? It's difficult to just hang in there, because Spirit is saying it's coming. It's coming. Just hold on. Help is on the way. That can be difficult. But know that all of these emotions that you are experiencing in this darker period, right? This heavier period. I don't want to say dark night of the soul, because it doesn't feel like a dark night of the soul, but it feels like it feels like a lot of angst. I don't know what that word means. It feels like a lot of, like, wonky, kind of heavy energy going in and out of a really good. This is obviously something that you really care about. You like it. It feels really good. But sometimes there can be some wonky ass energy going on. And Spirit is just saying this is the ebbs and the flows of being in this environment. No environment is going to be without struggle, right? If it's without struggle, then it's not real to be honest. Somebody lying. You need to go tap some people on the shoulder, and I bet you I ain't gonna go there. But I'm gonna just say this, y'all. I love y'all. Know that BLegendBotanica supports you guys. I support you guys. I never introduced myself. My name is Nia, aka BLegend. I love y'all forever. Y'all already know. If you are not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Subscribe right now. No, I'm kidding. But no, for real, subscribe right now because you know you're coming back. You guys always come back. You're legendary. You're legendary. I love you to the moon, to Saturn, to Uranus, to Neptune, to Mercury, to Pluto. I'm trying to think of another planet. To Chiron, to Vesta, to Aries. And not Aries, Aries, not with the A. Aries, Eres. Okay? All the way back down to Detroit, Michigan, where I'm at. And all around the world. Because we're international. Shout out to our international subscribers. Y'all are awesome. Tell me what's the weather going on? What's the weather like over there? Y'all having tornadoes too? What's going on? It's raining. Is it thunderstorming there? What's going on? No, I'm kidding. I love y'all so much. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your night, morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time you're watching this. Like the video if it helped you. Like the video just to tell YouTube that we matter. We matter. Legends' lives matter, okay? Like the video to let YouTube know, like, we over here doing legendary shit and ain't nobody stopping us, okay? Ain't nobody stopping you because you are a legendary force, okay? And tell all of them haters that they better act like they know. But even if they continue to act like they don't know, that's okay because they just gonna have to see. I said Spirit said it, and I said it too. They gonna have to see because Spirit is not hiding this from anybody, and they might be laughing or whatever when they see you going through your whoopty whoops, your vulnerability. But guess what? They gonna want to be on your team if they not already on your. All right. The shadow wants to come out. So one day I will let my shadow read for us, but I'm just nervous. I asked my shadow to help me write a song last night, and the lyrics were kind of out of control, but it still was very much me. So I just had to laugh because I'm like, bro, this is what you wanted to say. It's hilarious. Okay, but I'll let you guys have a good night, evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time you're watching this, and I'll catch you in the next video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for us, for your girl. What? And for the Legend Gang. I love y'all. Legends for life. Peace. See you in the next video.